Hello and welcome to Atlanta. This is 100 Yards of Football, sports talk radio. We are broadcasting live from Atlanta. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator, Dean Pease, is the man himself, Logan Landers. How's it going, Mr. Landers?
Welcome to Atlanta, Jeremiah. You know what we do here? It's where the players play. Hey,
Correct.
It's Monday morning. Talk some football. Talk some Atlanta Falcons, our hometown team we're rooting for each and every year. And, hey, I'm excited for this one, man. The Falcons, they got a whole new everything this year. They have completely rebranded themselves, and I'm ready to talk about it, man. It's exciting. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, yeah. And it's even more exciting to have, a great team in here and to have a great coaching staff to come through, new possibilities, new ideas. We've got Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We've got a real football season coming in this year. There's a lot to look forward to. So, Mr. Landers, break it down for us. How is defensive coordinator Dean Pease going to affect the Atlanta Falcons season?
Well, first off, man, they're getting an absolute legend in the field, someone who has been around the game, who started coaching back in 1979. So they are getting a very experienced, seasoned coach, especially on the defensive side of the ball. He has done a lot of tremendous things throughout his entire just coaching history. So he's been with so many teams. If I list them, we're going to be out here for 25 minutes. But he's helped out a lot of programs throughout college. He helped out Navy back in the 80s. He went to Toledo, Notre Dame as well, Michigan State. He was a head coach for a little bit at Kent State in the early 2000s. So then that didn't work out too well, so he decided to go back to his roots, go back to defensive coordinating, and hey, the NFL came calling for him. National Football League, the big stage. And he didn't start anywhere small. He went to the New England Patriots in 2004, 2005. And hey, he had a solid year there because that is when they got a Super Bowl trophy. So his first season in the NFL, he got a ring to his name. Not too shabby. So he was there for a year. Then he switched positions with the Patriots, went to defensive coordinator, and that's when it took off for a few years. They had a really good, stout defense. Then he decided to go to another defensive nightmare in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens, who are always known for that hard-hitting style. And, man, he got them to yet another championship. So he's got 2 rings to his name coming to the Atlanta Falcons. He was there for a long time, was a linebackers coach, defensive coordinator for 5 seasons. Went to the Titans a year and a half ago, did solid there. So everywhere he's went, it seems that success has followed. He's got 2 championships. He's got an amazing just track record of teams he's helped, of players he's been around, of just he's done a lot of good things for the defensive side of the football. And this guy is an absolute legend. And I know whenever he got hired, there's always going to be the critics saying, man, they're getting a guy who's in his 70s. What are they doing getting him for? But I don't look at it like that now. Come on. I don't look at it like that. He is – I don't see a guy who's 71. I see a guy who's been around football since the 1970s, 1980s. Yes, sir. I see a guy who's been working hard consistently at a bunch of different programs. He's been around the entire U.S. Just working on these programs with the defense, helping out, getting championships, getting a lot of wins, getting some interceptions, sacks. You name it, Dean Pease has seen it on the defense side of the ball. And, man, just to be honest, it's what the Falcons need. The Falcons need a good defensive presence. And we all thought that was going to happen when Dan Quinn came to town a couple of seasons ago. We thought that when he got hired back in, all those years ago, that the Falcons were going to be stars on defense. And that kind of flipped. We saw that they had, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez, so on and so forth. All those guys who've been through the Falcons offense through the years have just really helped out that team. But the defense, they just haven't been able to be a force in quite a long time. Yeah. There's always kind of been that, well, the Falcons have an amazing offense, but their defense, there's always been that kind of question coming up. And I think that if you get Dean Pease in there, who's an absolute legend at the defensive coordinating position, if we had our guy Kevin the Bull Jones on here, man, I know he'd be talking for 45 minutes about just the impact that Dean has had on just college football. Yeah. College football, NFL football, you name it. This guy is just impressive. And the Falcons, they had a solid draft, I think. We talked about their draft a while ago. They got Richie Grant, who was their second-round pick. I think he's going to come in. He's going to be a good player. Darren Hall, the cornerback position. That was those two key components that they need to fix. They need to fix their secondary. And I think that, I don't think they're going to be number one in defense or anything this year. I don't think that. But I think that if you can get, Grady Jarrett, who is their stud on the defensive side, getting a few more sacks and a lot more tackles, man, I think that while, the Falcons defense isn't going to be perfect by any means, we're not going to be leading the league in the least amount of yards given up or the least amount of points. But I think that we are going to see a good change because the Falcons, they gave up a lot of yards last year. They gave up a lot of yards, whether it was the opposing team running the ball or throwing the ball. And we just couldn't stop nothing. Whatever was thrown at us, we couldn't stop it. But it's a new time. They went through a lot last year. They fired Dan Quinn. They went through a whole change on that side. But now, hey, like we said, they're bringing in a whole new coaching staff, a new GM as well. So it's a new time here in Atlanta. And that's a great thing because usually, those first few years, the guys who just get hired, the GMs, the head coaches, the coordinators, they want to come out there and they want to impress. Their first year, not wait. They don't want to be complacent. They want to come out there and show you why they got hired and why they deserve to be the coaches for the Atlanta Falcons. And I hope that in my heart, all the Falcons fans' heart, all the, any fan of football out here in the South, that the Falcons can get back to their winning ways, get back to a Super Bowl, and get the win this time. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Because that is the dream, man. Because last year was a rough year. Let's just be honest. There was a lot of hard games that it was hard to watch. Not hard fought, hard to watch.
Yes.
Because especially early in the season, there was a few wins there's a few games that you could have thought they could have easily won if they just execute better on defense. If they didn't give up 30-something points a game, they might have had a chance at winning it. But it's hard. It's I know the NFL is very offensive heavy right now with all the insane talent of all the quarterbacks and the wide receivers who is fast as a cheetah. But defense is what wins championships, man. Dean Pease is the equivalent of that. He's got two rings because of it. Yeah. So I think he's going to come in here. He's going to help out the Falcons. And I think that he is going to help get that defense whipped into shape, turn it around, and we're going to finally start to see, okay, the Falcons have everything they need on offense, but I think the defense in a few years, we might be talking about them as a solid team all around and not just offensive minded. So I think Dean Pease is going to come in here. He's going to shake things up. They had a good draft. They got a few corners. They got some few guys on the defensive line as well. So I think that, once you get this and once you get a few more drafts into you as well, once they draft a couple more years, I think that if they get that right, Falcons defense might be set for a while. So hopefully so, man. We need that defense to come back because it's hard to win. It's hard to give up 30, 40 points a game and get the win. So hopefully that gets changed real quick. And, hey, as a Falcons fan, man, I know I'm looking forward to it. I know all of us here on the show are looking forward to it because when the Falcons are looking good, hey, it's a sight to see.
It's a huge sight to see. And, this is one of those teams that when they are on, they are on. And that's what I want to see. I want to go to Mercedes-Benz and watch them win. I want to come back and watch them in the playoffs. So this is definitely a great advancement for the team. I really feel like if you haven't put it together yet, then now is the time. And with Dean Pease and people like that in place, we're definitely going to see some movement. Now we've got CD over here with a little background information. He's saying the Falcons need Kyle Shanahan to make it back to the Super Bowl, especially with Brady sitting in Florida. Good news, Breeze is gone, but Peyton is not. That's not that. And also we got Falcons need that D to get back for sure. They used to be scary as turning 40. That's awesome. Thank you so much for watching, C. And we love all of our fans, and we love to interact with everybody, whether it's live or in comments later. So make sure you leave your comments later, and we'll be sure to follow up with your comments over on YouTube, Twitch, and on Facebook. And make sure that you share the show. People like CD and some of our other great fans, they'll share the show over to their friends, their family, and into Facebook groups. And sharing it that way gets us a lot of amazing reach and helps us to spread all of our videos all around the internet. So I really like what Logan's talking about with Dean Pease coming in as the defensive coordinator. But what do you think? We want to know your opinion, and that's what's so important to us is to keep all of our users and all of the people who watch us and listen to us, engaged with the football world and what's coming out. Because sometimes we get little scoops and we know things ahead of people. So we're the type that absolutely love to have that information and to bring it over to you guys. So make sure that you keep listening on our podcast and keep watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And again, for our podcast, you can jump over to Spotify, you can jump over to Apple Podcasts, and you can listen to us anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And for the entire team, I am Jeremiah Long, the producer. You've been listening to Mr. Logan Landers give us a breakdown of the Atlanta Falcons' new defensive coordinator, Dean Pease, and how he's going to affect the season. Make sure you let us know if there's anything else that you'd like to see, and we'll be right back with another live broadcast.